And last but not least, going from Missouri to Michigan to New York, now down to Pennsylvania in Bethlehem, where on Sunday, July 26th, Hakeem Jeffries, Minority House Leader, he had visited Pennsylvania to rally with Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and congressional candidate Bob Brooks, who is running in Pennsylvania's 7th congressional district. So at this rally, the three of them were all championing the affordability message, which very familiar from Zohran Mamdani, right? So the affordability message that now, let's just say the status quo, or let's just say the establishment is co-opting, whether they are or not. But I do hope it works because we need to decrease the cost of living for all Americans, especially when it's coming to the midterms, seeing how the Republican Party has only made things worse. So in the purple state and in a very swingy district like PA7, it was great to see Bob Brooks talk about not only his policy experience, but also the fact that he is a first-time candidate. He has 20 years as a firefighter, but he's also done work not only securing benefits for the national org, but also increasing and securing compensation for firefighters. So he's done the work not only saving lives, jumping into buildings, and jumping into fire to save people's lives, but he's also done the policy work to organize and actually win tangible results. So it's really great to see that he not only won his primary with like a 20-point lead, but also it's great that this is the kind of grassroots blue-collar candidate that progressives love to see in action. So with that said, great to see that Hakeem Jeffries is supporting someone of that kind of nature like Bob Brooks, but also with Governor Josh Shapiro right by his side. Now, fun fact, I actually had the opportunity to venture down to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, actually organize and volunteer in that district. Now, this was back in 2024, back when former Vice President Kamala Harris was running for president. And, I took 2 bus trips down to Pennsylvania in PA7 to support not only Harris, but the Congresswoman Susan Wild. And she was a Democrat, and to be frank, she was in office for a pretty long time. So the idea that, we had an older established incumbent, right, in a blue-collar community, and with the cost of living going up in that time frame, in 2022, 2024, people weren't really feeling it. So it's no surprise that Susan Wild, narrowly lost that election, even though we're out there doing the work, talking to neighbors out there, talking to voters. It didn't actually meet expectations. So regardless, at least I can say that, meeting folks out there, understanding the lay of the land, what makes it a swing district where a lot of neighbors are very evenly split on the election. But also in that experience, right, you really learn the suburbs of Pennsylvania. So now Bob Brooks is looking to represent them and hopefully fight for progressive values. And end of the day, really hoping that Bob Brooks wins against Ryan McKenzie, who is the current Republican congressional rep. I think he'll pull it off, especially now that Democrats are motivated to win. And, McKenzie's just generic run-of-the-mill Republican. So does he have a strong base? Not so much compared to Democrats who are fired up for new leadership. So if you live out there, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, or in the area, please make sure that you're phone banking, volunteering, and, of course, voting for Bob Brooks come the midterm elections in November of 2026. And that's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Not Suitable for Democracy. If you like what you heard and want to learn more, then make sure to subscribe to Not Suitable for Democracy on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Or you can also follow along on Instagram and TikTok. I use the same handle for both, so follow along at NSFD_pod. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned a lot in today's episode. I know it sounds like bad news for progressives, but together we can fight back, get involved, and make sure that we get the progressive future that we deserve. And remember, democracy is not suitable without you.